Gibbo presents.
It's Gibbo, and right now I'm joined on the line once again by one of the promoters of World Clash Resets. It is Chin. In the early hours of Sunday morning, Metro Media sent a shockwave through the Sound Clash worlds when they defeated King Addies in the Tune for Tune round of resets and left Amazura with the trophy. Can you assess the importance of their victory? How significant a moment was this in Sound Clash history?
It's a real significant moment because it pretty much defines that there's a missing element in today's Sound Clash arena. As I've been campaigning for over a year now, that the energy needs to be restored in the arena. We need to have some surprises. We need to, it doesn't need to be as formatted as it's been in recent times where, you know exactly which sound is going to play, you know what's coming from that sound system and so forth. World Clash Reset this year, Skyjuice winning showed, one, that juggling sound systems do have a place in the sound system clash arena, right? And it also gives hope to other sounds and selectors who may not have a huge collection of dub plates, but they have talent, they know how to present themselves, they have, speech and presentation when they go on the stage. It gives them hope that one day they will also make it to the big stage. So I would say that World Clash this year, the outcome of Skyjuice and Metro Media Crew winning, it is one of the best things that could have happened because it opens the eyes of not only Clash fans, not only promoters, but it opens the vibes of the whole international market to realize that, wait a minute here. Most people are now saying that World Clash Reset was the most enjoyable clash for many years. Many of them are saying that it was even the most enjoyable World Clash for many years. Why was it so enjoyable? It was enjoyable because it broke the normal. Skyjuice came, he did it his way. Jazzy T came, he did it his way. And then the hardcore sounds did it their way. So it was a mixture of vibes, and all of those vibes equated to a new energy sparked in the Sound Clash arena. So I definitely am very happy that Skyjuice won World Clash 2013.
You've said that you'd like to include Stone Love in next year's event if they accept your invitation, but do you think that we're now going to see more juggling sounds putting themselves forward for and being invited to take part in clashes put on by other promoters?
Here's the thing. Many juggling sounds, and let's just put it out there because I like to have real conversation. Many juggling sounds, even though Skyjuice is a year-to-year selector, even though Skyjuice is a selector of high merit, there are juggling sounds out there that feel that they are better than Skyjuice and they can entertain more than Skyjuice. Many people, Clash and juggling, feel that Skyjuice's performances may be, a lot to do with gimmicks. And I say that to make the point that they are going to look at this situation and say, Skyjuice won, I'm better than Skyjuice, that means I can win too. So a juggling sound that probably would have been timid to go against a hardcore sound system just because they don't have the dub plate artillery, or just because the Sound Clash selectors are very disrespectful sometimes, right? Is now going to turn around and say, I'm not scared of going to World Clash, or I'm not scared of clashing a hardcore sound because from Skyjuice kill them boy there, me can kill them too. So yes, we're going to see more juggling selectors rising to the occasion. And World Clash Reset will feature juggling sounds. I would love for Stone Love. Stone Love would be the number one sound on my list because Stone Love is the pinnacle. They're the name brand of the sound system industry. Not only Clash, not only juggling, but around the world, when you think about dancehall sound systems, Stone Love is top 3. And the fact that Stone Love has that high merit, we would love to get Stone Love in on the World Class stage. And they have the artillery to make a difference.
You mention that many juggling sounds think they are as good as or better than Metro Media and Sky Juice, but how many juggling sounds do you think there are out there who are actually capable of winning a World Clash trophy, or at least being competitive with the top Clash sounds?
I think there may be a few. I think Stone Love is capable of winning World Clash. I think that Stone Love offers something to the Clash arena that Sky Juice can't offer, which is anthems. Stone Love has a box full of songs that people know. We grew up on those songs. And when you compare Stone Love to Metro Media Sky Juice, the attraction to Metro Media has always been Sky Juice. That will never change. Sky Juice, his personality, his energy, everything that he offers in a dance is what has made people gravitate to Metro Media all these years. Stone Love is a different kettle of fish. They are a juggling sound such as Sky Juice. They are a premier juggling sound such as Sky Juice. But we more gravitate to Stone Love in recent years because of the catalog of dub plates, because of the anthems. So Sky Juice won World Clash without any anthems. Can you imagine what Stone Love can do with that anthem, that catalog of anthems that they have? So to answer your question, there are sound systems out there that can do just as well as Sky Juice, or even better than Sky Juice. But we cannot take away the fact that Sky Juice should be credited, and all of us should be credited, for kicking open the door and allowing Clash fans, hardcore Clash fans, to now realize that, wait a minute, maybe Chin is right. Maybe this reset campaign is just what we need in recent times. Maybe we can enjoy ourselves even more at a sound clash if we bring in the juggling selectives. And I'll say this, and this is one thing that many people should recognize. This year's World Clash Reset was overly attended by females. Not females dressed in construction boots and dressed like boys, but females dressed in their nice clothes, whatever the females wear. You know, high heels, tight skirts, short skirts, whatever. There was a bunch of females at World Clash Reset this year that were dressed up like they just came to a party to enjoy themselves. And most of them left, if not all, feeling that, hey, this is something that I want to be part of. So I think that our, mission was accomplished.
As you touched on earlier, one of your reasons for the introduction of the reset concepts was to give young selectors and sounds a chance to compete in the Sound Clash arena, or at least sounds that were not actively taking part in clashing already. But Metro Media are a veteran sounds and have been established for as long, if not longer, than many of the top clashing sounds. So are young or new sounds really going to get the opportunities that you wanted them to get?
Yeah, and again, it has to start somewhere. And the way I look at the industry is that, people will never buy into new talent. For whatever reason it is. You can have someone who is, one of the best selectors there, but he's undiscovered. He's not a brand, right? Patrons, Clash patrons, for the most part, they buy into the brand names. And I'll show you, my experiences with what I'm saying. You have people all the time that would say, yo, Irish and Chin continues to use the same sounds over and over for World Clash. Every single year is the same sounds. The Mighty Crown, the Bass Odyssey, the Kilimanjaro, the Mataran, the Radigan, whoever it is on the list, the Black Cats, they complain that we use the same sounds. Now, if we refrain from using those sound systems and we take a new talent from Jamaica, a new talent from New York, a new talent from the UK, a new talent from Canada, those same people will say, yo, Chin them I try rip you off, or who them sound ya when nobody no know. So it only sounds good for persons to say that they want to bust new talent. But there has to be a format to bust new talent. There has to be a way that you indirectly trick the patrons, and I say this in a nice way. You have to indirectly trick the patrons to accept change. You can't just build a bunch of new sounds for a sound clash and feel like the sound clash is going to be worthwhile or it's going to ram. Because Clashing is just like a movie. Movies sell because of stars. And if a star is not in the movie, then maybe the movie won't sell as much. You can put someone in there that doesn't know how to act, but it's a star, hence the reason why you're starting to see, rap celebrities and celebrities from other genres of music becoming movie stars. It's because the person who made the movie is trying to get people to watch the movie. It's the same thing in the Clash arena. We use the Matarans, the Ricky Troopers, the Mighty Crowns, the Fire Lynxes, the Pink Panthers, because those are the stars of the arena. But in the midst of the stars of the arena, every now and again it's okay to push someone out there and push someone out there so they open the door. Now, saying this is to say that Sky Juice just opened the door. So when I say next year or the year after, here comes the number one juggling sound from the UK, or here comes the number one sound, the juggling sound from Canada, or from Jamaica, my patrons, the World Clash patrons, will be more acceptable to it because they've already seen that juggling selectors can handle themselves on the World Clash stage. So yes, you will see new talent, but in order for new talent to be receptive to the Clash patrons, someone of merit has to open that door, and Sky Juice just opened that door.
Should World Clash be the place, though, for new talent to prove themselves, or is this not the job of the minor leagues and smaller clashes?
World Clash is definitely not the place for sound systems to prove themselves. I 100% stand by that. World Clash is the place to prove that you can go to another level. So I would never look at a sound. My partner Irish would never look at a sound that has no activity whatsoever in the minor leagues, as you put it, and put them on the World Clash stage. We always look at people that somewhat is proven. If I visit a territory and I see someone with good talent, it opens my eyes, but at the same time, I want to know what they have done. What are some of the parties that they played at? What are some of the clashes that they competed in? And so forth. So we would never just take someone that nobody ever knew and put them on the World Clash stage. In 1999, the reason why we put Mighty Crown in World Clash 99 is because, before World Clash 99, we took Mighty Crown on the road with King Addies and Coxon. We did a clash with them in Washington, D.C. Mighty Crown won that clash. We did a hardcore clash in Boston with Mighty Crown, Downbeat, and Coxon. It was like an old hits, like 80s and 70s clash, and they also won that clash. So because we were able to see their ability, and they got the stamp of approval from persons on that tour, we decided to put them in World Clash. So nothing has changed. 15 years later, nothing has changed. We would never take up a sound that, doesn't even have a fan base in their own town and put them on the World Clash stage. World Clash is not the stage to discover new talent. World Clash is a stage to enhance someone who's already doing good in their prospective territory.
Have you had a chance to sit down either by yourself or with the rest of your team and assess how the event as a whole went and think about how you may change and improve things for next time?
We have sat down the night before, right after World Clash would be Sunday morning. We all sat down and, congratulated. I congratulated my team, myself and Irish, because we had a vision, and the vision worked. I purposely this year stood outside the venue while everybody was leaving after the tune. The tune was won by Sky Juice and Metro Media, to hear and to see the looks on people's faces, to see if they were disgruntled, to see if they were upset with the 45s, to see if they were cussing chin. And most of the people who stopped me, which was a lot of them, good clash chin, great clash, I had a lot of fun, So, after experiencing that love and that energy for what they just experienced, we sat down Sunday morning, and I pretty much just congratulated my team for, being able to help me bring my vision to life, because it's not me and it's not Irish. We have a team. I have about maybe 8 to 10 employees that work for Irish and Chin who get a regular salary, a regular salary. They're employees of the company. And I had to congratulate them because I couldn't have brought the vision, to light by myself. Neither could Irish. And we are really proud of how it worked out. Are there some things that we would like to change? Definitely. I want to make World Clash more of a production. I want corporate people, even if they don't want to be involved, I want them to be able to take it as serious as they take other things, So I want to make sure the imagery, when you stand up and you look on the stage, it looks like these contenders are superstars. I want the stage and the presentation of the competition to complement the selectors and the sound systems. So one can stand, in the audience and say, wow, for these selectors or this sound to be on this stage, they must be big thing. They must have done something really good because, the average sound shouldn't be able to be put on this stage. So we want to get more respect for the staging of the World Clash because ultimately getting more respect for the staging of World Clash will spiral into getting more respect for the sound system arena as a sport. I want this to be looked on as a sport because, by definition, it can be considered a sport. And we want to get more respect for this. We want it to be, something that people looks upon as a craft. I want the selectors, the sound systems, and the owners of these sound systems to start getting wiser and realizing that things have changed. This thing doesn't have to be a hobby. Collecting dub plates doesn't have to be something that you just do because you have money. But if you have a nice catalog, if you get the proper selectors and mixers around your sound system, you can one day make your sound team become famous. And notice that I said sound team because that's what they are. No one looks at it like that. They use the terminology sound boys. It's not sound boys. It should now be considered as a sound team. Just like the Lakers are a team, the Sixers are a team, the sounds that play in the World Clash Arena are teams, working together, seeing a proper vision, having a proper owner, marketing your sound the proper way. It's limitless to what you can achieve. Look at it as a business. It's a business now. It's not like in the 90s or the 80s when Saxon was the big sound and Addies was the big sound and Jar was the big sound. Those guys did what they had to do to fit the era of when they were coming up. But their practices are no longer relevant to what's going on today. Today, it's more business. Today, you can actually make a career from this. And that's the message that I would like everybody to understand. World Clash is moving towards trying to get more global respect, more international respect for sound system culture. So don't expect to come to World Clash and bust. Stay in your respective territory, your country, and do as best as you can do. And wait on the World Clash call. And when you get the World Clash call, come to World Clash with your A game. So now that you get to World Clash, Canada will know you, America will know you, England will know you, Japan will know you, and the whole world will know you. So that's pretty much, Gibbo, what I want to achieve and what my company is trying to achieve out of this whole, staging of the World Clash and kind of upping the level of the production of World Clash. It's not only about Irish and Chin, because Irish and Chin cannot exist without the selectors, the mixers, and the sound system owners. We just want them to realize that, listen, let's not do this as a hobby anymore. Let's do it as a business.
Last week, after I posted our last interview, I had quite a few people asking me if there was going to be a live stream of resets. You said prior to the events that you thought a stream wasn't worth your while due to the costs involved and the fact that people would just bootleg it. But for a lot of Clash fans outside of the US, making a trip to New York just isn't an option. Is your stance with regards to a live stream of the Clash still the same, or is it something that we may see in the future?
It's something that I've tried before, Gibbo, and unfortunately sometimes the small minority, kind of makes the majority suffer. And what people do, just out of spite, because they don't benefit out of it in any way, they find a way to hack the stream. I've seen them do this with some of the biggest shows in Jamaica, Sunfest, Sting, and all of this. They find a way to hack the stream, and they offer it on the internet for free, with no care of how much money the promoter has put up to make this stream possible. So what I have done, what my team has done, what Irish has agreed to do, is we've decided to hire a professional camera crew and get the video mixed live or edited live while the show is going on, and get it loaded to Irish and Chin less than 24 hours or 48 hours after the event. So those who didn't get a chance because they're from another country or across the Atlantic or whatever, at least 48 hours. They hear the hype, and the hype is for the first 24 hours, and then the next day we have it there where they can go all enjoy it for free. It's not a charge, it's just for free. But I figure that if we are promoters and we are paying to do this big event, the only people that should benefit off of it is us. As far as that, and it may sound selfish, but if you put yourself in our perspective, in our seats, you would understand exactly what we're talking about. It doesn't make any sense to pay thousands of dollars for a live stream, for you to be hacked by someone and you can't make that money back. So instead of putting out all that money, we just decided simple: get a camera crew. We did a nice camera shoot this year. We used the Gib, and within 48 hours, less than 48 hours, it was up there for Clash fans. So if Clash fans really want to see World Clash, they wouldn't hold it against us that we don't have a live stream, as long as we're able to turn around the footage, in a short span where they can still enjoy it.
You've already said juggling sounds will feature in future editions of Reset, but will they always be in the minority on the lineup, meaning fewer juggling sounds than traditional Clash sounds, or can you see a day when there are as many or even more juggling sounds involved than there are Clash sounds?
I mean, it's hard for us to predict the future. Where I sit now, they will be a minority. It will not be a situation where there will be more juggling sounds than Clash sounds, where I'm sitting now. But as time goes by and new talent is developed, anything can change. The importance of a competition such as World Clash, and my ambitions and Irish and Chin's ambition, is to be able to keep the competition changing with time. So whatever the time is and whatever the generation is into at that time, that's what we're going to gravitate towards the competition to keep it alive. So I don't want to be one of those people that's saying, yo, this is how it was done in the 80s, so this is the way I'm doing it, and still just keep, the patrons just to a selected few, because the new generation that's doing what they're doing now, it's not gravitating towards what we're doing. So depending on the success that we will have with Reset, because it's no longer World Clash, right? Eventually, we hope to shed the World Clash. It would be World Clash's Reset. Reset belongs to World Clash, but Reset is not World Clash, and that's what we probably need to push out there more for people to understand. The format of the World Clash, the original World Clash that started in 1998, that was ended in 2007 in America, will not happen again, or will not happen for a very long time. I should say that, will not happen for a very long time. We have moved on to try to appeal to a younger fan base, to try to appeal to a female fan base. We've ran that for almost 15 years, or close to 15 years. It's a new generation now. So that format of strictly dub plate, strictly hardcore, we don't intend to go back there no time soon. So Irish and Chin's, yearly competition will be World Clash's Reset. Reset belongs to World Clash, but it is not World Clash, which will allow us to accept juggling sounds. 1, 2, 3, I don't know what it will be in the future, but it's a competition that is a sister or sibling or a child of World Clash, but it is not the World Clash, and people should not get that confused. It's very important for people to understand. New era, new generation, new rules. It's a new show.
Do you have to be careful in the future not to include too many juggling sounds in clashes where 45s are allowed? Because surely a bunch of juggling sounds playing 45s is a 45 shootout at best, if not just a regular dance masquerading as a clash.
Well, see, this is the thing, and it's something else that we have to start thinking about. You know, it may be possible in recent time, within recent days, for us to start, and when I say us, I mean Clash fans, dancehall fans, to start redefining what we think clashing should be. Because traditionally, what you just said works. You know, you said masquerading. You said that a bunch of sound systems, playing 45 and masquerading as a sound clash, right? It's not really a sound clash. It's a 45 shootout. And I would say to that, yeah, there's a part of me that understands what you're saying, but there's a part of me that is now saying that, we need to start to redefine, or we need to be careful of what we're calling clashing or how we define clashes. Because the fact of the matter is, it's that I don't know about what's going on in Europe, because I'm not there all the time, and I don't know what's going on in England. But the places that I travel, dub-plate clashes, solely dub-plate clashes, have a limited audience. Here in the States, a dub-plate clash will bring you 300 people. If it's a really good one, you might get 500 people. But those 500 people don't pay the bills. Those 500 people do not put the Sound Clash arena on that level that it needs to be on, right? The admission of 45s, the admission of juggling selectors attracts a new audience to add to that 500. So maybe you might end up with 800 or 1,000, and you will see growth. The fact of the matter is, Gibbo, it's this, right? And this is what many people are not looking at. Outside of Jamaica, many of the new people who are interested in dancehall and interested in sound systems are descendants of Jamaicans. Either their grandmother was Jamaican, or their father was Jamaican, or mother was Jamaican. But they themselves have been born in Canada, they've been born in England, they've been born in New York, they were not born in Jamaica. Their influences are different. The music that they relate to are different. I spoke to you about this before, and I said it's simple. You can take 10 selectors and put them in a row, and you can ask them, is your son or daughter interested in sound clashing? And 99.5 of them is going to say no, which means that we are failing as a sound clash genre to appeal to another generation. And that generation that we are failing to appeal to cares nothing about dub plates. So what do we keep doing? Do we keep the competition going with just dub plates? And do we keep saying, oh, well, that's not a real sound clash because, they're playing 45s. They're playing too much 45s, so that's not a real sound clash. Eventually, what is going to happen is a simple theory that I've came up with. In a high school, and I would like you to kind of understand this. In the high school, every year, there's a graduating class and there's a freshman class. So the 12th graders go out, the 9th graders come in. What's happening to Sound Clash over the past few years is this. There has been always a graduating class, but there's no freshmen coming into the school. So eventually, the school is going to be empty. No fans, because we're not appealing to the needs of the next generation. So I would not agree with you that too much 45s makes it not a juggling clash. I mean, not a real sound clash. I just think that we need to start to redefine what we are going to say a real sound clash is. Because if two sounds are engaged in a competition, it's a sound clash. Now, one might feel that I'm in favor of 45 clashing solely. I'm not in favor of that. I'm not in favor of 45 clashing solely, nor am I in favor of dub plate clashing solely. What I'm in favor of is a young kid who's coming out of college being able to bossa dance, whether he wants to use 45s of hip-hop, reggae, R&B, or house music, or garage music, mixed up with his dub plates. To me, the only people that are supposed to be enjoying themselves and feeling satisfied in a competition is the patrons. And when we see the patrons jumping because they like what they're hearing, then our job has been done as promoters, sound owners, and selectors. If you feel that you're going to go on the stage and because you're keeping it real and you're going to be playing 1/2 an hour of pure dub plates while everybody folds their arm and look at you and say, yo, I can't wait for the next sound to come in, you're not doing anything for the business. And that's just my opinion.
You mentioned last time we spoke that the UK Cup Clash would be making a return next year, but what else does Irish and Chin have planned clash-wise for 2014? Will Reset be returning to New York next October, and will there be another Reset in Jamaica?
Reset will definitely be returning to New York, without a doubt, in October. We are looking at other places to stage World Clash. Once upon a time, World Clash was in Jamaica, it was in Antigua, it was in Canada. We're looking to do that as well. We're looking to spread the wings again. I think that the formula went over so well that I would like other people to experience that energy, and I think that they will be receptive to it. So we are trying, we hope to be able to put this concept on the road and sell this concept to dancehall fans who may not want to visit a sound clash. We want to say, nah, here it is, it's cool. 45s are being played, so you will hear music that you can relate to. Come and check it out, So it's a campaign that we would like to have globally to kind of recruit more Clash fans and more patrons into the arena. So that will definitely take place. As far as what we'll be doing for the next year is trying to uplift sound system culture in all different ways. I do these Soundchat TV interviews with the veterans because I want the youngcomers or the youngsters who are coming into the industry to understand why things were the way they were, and to at least be able to listen to some of the great artists and some of the great selectors and be able to make a change, take useful information from them, apply it to what you're doing now, so at least we can hold on to some parts of the tradition. I'm totally against getting rid of all tradition in the Sound Clash arena. Some of it needs to be held on to. I'm just saying let's modernize tradition, if there's such a thing, where we're holding on to some of it, but we're trying to repackage it for it to appeal to the generation that's at hand. So with that being said, I am someone that I love the old school, so I will still be keeping foundation dances, with Stereograph and Jalove and, other sound systems where the artists can come and DJ around the sound system so people can still also get that feel, because that is also just as important as Sound Clash. The mission here is to preserve the sound system culture in all aspects. Juggling, live artists and rubber dub, and also clashing. So when we say reset, we're saying restoring exciting sound system entertainment together. So we want the rubber dub sounds to be part of the movement. We want the juggling selectors to be part of the movement, and we want the hardcore clash people to be part of the movement. So I can't tell you that I have 50 clashes planned for next, 2014, 2015. What I can say to you is that we will be doing different things to continue spreading, some emphasis and some light on the sound system culture and the rich history that the sound system culture has, because a lot of the people who are now playing these Serato laptops and playing CDs have no clue of the legacy of a Josie Wales. They have no clue of the legacy of a Yellow Man and so forth. And we want them to understand that, We want them to appreciate that part of the culture, because that part of the culture is needed to move forward.
Speaking of moving forwards, Let's talk a little about what's next for the sounds in the Irish and Chin camp. Firstly, King Addies. It was another impressive performance from Kingpin and A1 at the weekends. Will Addies be as active in the Clash Arena over the next 12 months? And did they prove on Saturday night that they are New York's number one? Or is there still unfinished business with LP and Soul Supreme?
Speaking from my perspective, and my perspective is not always the perspective of the management, the owners and some of the, the management team of Addies. When I say management team, I mean the people who make decisions over me. From my perspective, it's marketing. It's straight marketing with King Addies, right? And I'm not one that believes in continuous clashing. It's just not something that I see that is productive. I think that Addies will be involved in major clashes within the next 12 months. Of course they will. They will take part in major clashes. And I did put out a hit list of sound systems that we would like to clash, and that is what we're going to be focusing on now for the next 12 months. Whether the sound system is in Jamaica or whether it's in Canada or the UK or Europe, we definitely want to focus on that. But my vision for Addies is not just taking every dance as a promoter calls and say, I want you to clash with Gibbo, and we saying yes to that. There has to be some type of advancement for us right now as far as King Addies goes, because King Addies is still building, and when we get to the level where everyone is comfortable with the status of Addies, such as get back to that level where Mataran and Babyface was, then we can start thinking about taking some arbitrary clashes here and there. But it's not about the money for me as far as Addies go. It's about restoring them back to the global visibility that they had. World Clash is a great start. Killing Bass Odyssey is a wonderful start. Will we be clashing? Yes, but we will be clashing smartly. It won't be a situation where we'll be in every hole in the wall clashing. What I would like Addies to become is equally recognized for juggling as much as they're recognized for clashing. And the reason why I say this is because juggling, clash sounds don't happen every day. So if Addies backs themselves into the corner of a clash sound, then how much times will they actually work per month or per year? There has to be some other activity there. So I want to spend more time allowing them to market themselves and getting out some mixtapes and letting people know that they can juggle and they have these kind of dubs and so forth. In between clashing here and there, such as what we did to Mighty Crown. It's pretty much the same marketing. Mighty Crown hasn't clashed in 5-6 years, but they have been traveling the world. And if we, in the early stages of Mighty Crown, didn't realize that of the importance of getting them to play into parties and juggle, then they would have been backed into a corner. And then the 6 years that they decided not to clash, it would have been all over for them.
You talk there.
That's pretty much the business plan for King Addies. Not clashing every day, taking smart clashes, taking clashes that mean something, but also stamping a foot in juggling, in dance hall, in juggling.
It's a well-known fact, the business empire that Mighty Crown have been able to build for themselves, especially in their native Japan, in terms of deals with Nike, their own clothing line, their own magazine, their own record label, and so on. Do you think it's realistic to have these same kind of goals for Addies, and how long do you think it will take for them to achieve similar feats?
I think that the accomplishments of Addies is limitless, because let's face it, Addies, many people would argue that they're not the number one sound in America, and that continues to be debatable. But one thing that's not debatable is that they're the biggest sound system brand in America, right? Synonymous to how Stone Love is the biggest sound system brand in Jamaica, and being the biggest sound system brand in a country has to be worth something. So with the proper marketing, the proper business decisions, I do see, Addies becoming their own business entity. Maybe they might not have what Mighty Crown has. Maybe they will achieve more than what Mighty Crown has. But the objective here is to use the importance of the brand, resurface that importance, make the brand become visible, and get some business deals. So whether it's Addies sneakers, whether it's an Addies record label, whatever it is, right? The objective of sound teams should be to earn money without having to play music all the time. Mighty Crown earns without having to play at a dance. That's the objective. That's the ultimate goal, right? And just look at some of the top DJs in the world. I don't know the ones over in the UK, but look at a Funkmaster Flex. Look at a DJ Clue. All of these guys started from the same thing that we are doing. They started from the clubs. They started from the streets. They started from the mixtapes and the mixed CDs. Now they have record endorsements. Now that they're on the radio, they have clothing endorsements. Why can't we also have the same thing? So often that the Jamaican culture borrows from the American culture, but Gibbo, I feel that they don't borrow the right things. They borrow the foolishness. They borrow the flossing, and the showing off. But the business structure is what we as West Indians need to borrow from these people. The top DJs in the hip-hop industry started in the streets just like Addies, started in the streets just like Mighty Crown, started in the streets just like Saxon and V-Rocket and Coxon. They started in the streets. So why is it that we can't get what they got?
Mighty Crown clashed for the first time in 6 years at R.E.S.E.T. Have they now made a permanent return to clashing, or was this just a one-off?
I haven't, as I speak to you today, I haven't got a chance to really sit down with Mighty Crown and figure, to really get an understanding of where they want to take it, whether they want to come back full-time, part-time, or if they don't want to come back at all. What I would recommend, though, and I say this without speaking to them because I like to have real conversations when we speak, I would recommend that they clash because their World Clash performance was not as impressive as it should have been. And the reason why I feel that it wasn't as impressive as it should have been is because they've been out of the game so long. The game has changed, and it's very difficult for Mighty Crown, even though people don't give them credit. But it's extremely difficult because they're living in a country that speaks a totally different language. And the dancehall culture there is totally different. And, one time I had a really heart-to-heart talk with Sammy and Simon, and we were debating about something that I thought that they were doing wrong, and they were defending why they don't think it was doing wrong. We just had a team discussion or a team argument. And in that team argument, I end up feeling really bad. And the reason why I felt bad was because one of the brothers said to me, Chin, you don't realize how hard it is for us to do what we do. When we think of talking on the mic, we have to think of what we want to say in Japanese, then translate it to English, and then speak it in patois, all in a half of a second. When they play music in Japan, they don't speak English. They don't speak patois. They play dancehall music in Japan and they speak Japanese, which makes sense because everybody in the audience is Japanese and you need your patrons to understand what you're saying. So I'm saying this, that I believe that their performance, and I'm not making excuses for them because, people expect so much from Mighty Crown because, they've been giving them their all for the past couple of years. That break that they took has allowed them to kind of not be as sharp as they used to be with the transformation of Japanese to English to patois. And maybe working the stage the way that they used to, it just wasn't there. It became a little bit second nature. So, for them to get that back, they have to clash again. If it's important to them, they have to clash back again and get active. And then, the fans will see the Mighty Crown that they used to see. And that would be my opinion that I'm saying to you, that when we do sit down and talk, that will be my opinion to them again.
Just before we finish, Chin, last week when we spoke, you said on Monday you were going to be announcing a new addition to Team Irish and Chin. Did I miss your announcement, or did you decide to postpone it in the aftermath of Reset?
I decided to postpone it till the aftermath of Reset. You're actually reading my mind, because when I do make the announcement, I would like the focus to be on the announcement, and I would like people to kind of understand, what we're trying to accomplish as a entertainment house, and I think that it would have got lost in the whole hype of, the World Clash aftermath, and then I think it will also get lost in the whole, promotions of Rewind. So even though I said it when I sat back down with my team, we all agreed that it would be a really bad idea, because I want everyone to just be focused on that power move, and I want to get the patrons' opinion on, do they think it's a good thing? Do they think it will work? Do they think it won't work? So, timing is everything, and the deal is pretty much solidified. It's something that we're not going to change our mind on. It's something that I feel very passionate about, because I feel just as I grew up listening to Addies and learned so much from Babyface, and learned so much from Mataran and that whole team during that early 80s. I'm during the early 90s. I feel that the next crew that I brought on has been influential to me as a person as well. And, with that being said, that passion is there. And I want to do it the right way.
You say the next crew you've brought on has been influential to you. Does that mean it's a sound who's been established for many years?
I'm not going to answer that question, because then I know that the patrons will the Clash fans will start to narrow down this and assume that and so forth. Based on the last time that I spoke to you, I've got like a ton of calls with people asking me which sound is it that I'm signing from the UK, because they listened to Gibbo's interview and they heard that I'm signing a sound from the UK. So I don't want to mislead anyone. So I rather not answer that question. But let's put it this way: a sound system doesn't have to be a well-established sound system to be able to bear influence on someone like me.
You didn't actually state last week that the sound system was based in the UK, but I think with me being based here, a lot of people kind of assumed things, and you know how rumours spread.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I want people to understand that the purpose of signing sound systems is not because we are trying to, make this ton of money, because the reality of it, Gibbo, is that there's no real money in this. That's the reality of it. Those of you who know the business and understand what managements, and it's not like we're managing artists. So it's not like we can ever book Mighty Crown for $15,000, or we can book Addies for $15,000, right? So the monies that Addies and Mighty Crown gets booked for, or any sound that would be signed to the Irish and Chin camp, when for us to get a percentage of that money, it's not no great deal of money. So I want people to just be smart about, because a lot of accusations are out there that, we're making all of this money, that's why we're signing all of these sound systems. Of course, we're in the business to make money. But what we like to have when we make business decisions is a greater goal. And the greater goal with starting a sound system camp is to be able to structure the industry in the way that we think it should be going. Now, our visions doesn't have to turn out to be the right vision, but at least we are making an effort while everyone else is just sitting there and not doing anything to aid the direction of where the industry is going. And so far, it's going in a downward spiral. So, signing sound systems, teaching them a business outlook, right? Organizing and execution is something that has really been done in the past. Sound systems have just been going with the flow. We are now saying, let's come together, let's do business. As it is again, I have to take an example from the Americans, right? There is, here in New York, there's a bunch of top, radio disc jockeys. They call themselves Big Dog Pitbulls. And it's a team that's headed by Funkmaster Flex, but he has members of his organization who play in Miami, who who play in Atlanta, who play in different states. And when they go out to play, even though they represent themselves, they also represent the greater brand, which is Big Dog Pit Bulls. And they're respected for representing Big Dog Pit Bulls, and being associated with that brand brings more value to their booking fee. There's also one called Heavy Hitters. It's an organization of DJs who have come together for a common goal. And this is the same thing that I'm saying. I'm not saying that Irish and Chin needs to be the sole camp of, Mighty Crown Addies and whoever else we put. I would love for another promoter or another entertainment house to sign a couple of sound systems too. And get a business thing going, a business structure. Because here's the thing, Gibbo. We, as sound systems and sound system members of the sound system fraternity, we're losing our respect among producers, among artists, and among managers. The respect is not there anymore. Once upon a time, you saw the great Dave Kelly wanted to bust the Brookout rhythm, so he gave it to Tony Mataran to premiere at Fully Loaded. Because at that time, a selector had the ability to send a song to the world. There's nobody rushing to selectors to play brand new rhythms at World Clash. No producers giving Addies or Fire Links and say, yo, cut your tune and pan that rhythm here and bust that rhythm here for me. No, they're giving all of these drops and all of these dub plates to radio disc jocks that really can't do nothing for them. But they think that they can because we, as a sound system members, are not doing what we're supposed to be doing. And that is to be showing VP and Greensleeve and everybody else that, no can't go around we. And we find new talent. New talent used to be found from sound systems. Producers used to test their new music from sound systems. What happened to that? And if we don't get it back there in an organized manner, there will be no respect left for the sound system culture. So this is our effort of coming together as a unit with some of the bigger sounds in different, different areas or different countries, and saying, so we are going to do our thing. So Gibbo, encourage somebody in the UK to do that. Encourage somebody in Europe to do it. Encourage somebody in the Caribbean to do it. It's a perfect ideal that will allow us to get back respect. But the respect is not only coming for Irish and Chin. The respect is coming for sound system culture.
Very last thing, will you be making that announcement next Monday, or have you decided to hold back a little longer?
The announcement of the new sound system?
Yes.
The announcement will be made after Reset. So pretty much in the next 3 weeks, when the Reset aftermath is gone, we will make that announcement, and we will spend a couple of weeks on it, and you will see my office go viral with it, with the internet and so forth. It's something that, I'm really proud of. My partner's really proud of it, and we think it will work, and it will be one of those situations where I know everybody's going to be like, how is that going to work? How are all three of those sounds going to be in one camp? And is Chin going to now stop sounds from clashing because they're in the same camp? And the answer to that is no. Mighty Crown wants to get at Addies more than anything since World Clash. Addies wants to get at Mighty Crown more than anything since World Clash. If you have two gladiators in one camp, it's obvious, it's evident. You can't prevent it. The two of them is two high-priced boxers, and they're going to want to know who's the best one and who's not the best one. You know what I mean? But so that's not our ambition for those who are thinking that we are trying to friend out the thing. You know what I mean? But business-wise, there's a lot that Mighty Crown can benefit from sharing the same camp with Addies. There's a lot that Addies can benefit from sharing the same camp with Mighty Crown. And the new sound that we bring in will be able to benefit from both sounds, and both sounds will be able to benefit from that sound's territory. But at the same time, we will be clashing amongst each other. There will be an Addies versus Mighty Crown. There will be a Mighty Crown versus this mystery sound. There will be an Addies versus this mystery sound. We're not trying to take any energy away from the sound system arena. We're just taking a different approach. And we're saying when we walk off of the stage, regardless of what the dub plate said that dissed you or what the dub plate said that killed will never forget. And at the time that he said it, he was in the presence of Bounty Killer. And he said to me, I'll never forget this. Mighty Crown was about to clash Bass Odyssey, and we wanted to get a Buju Banton and Killer dub plate. And Buju would not do the tune unless Killer was present in the studio. He wouldn't allow us to just use Killer's voice. So we had to work that out. It was hard to do, but we worked it out. And both at the time, none of them, they weren't friends. They weren't on speaking terms. And Buju did it because of his relationship with Mighty Crown at the time. Now, saying that to say, Buju looked at Bounty Killer, and he said to Bounty, right, this thing that's going on with you and Beanie Man, if you guys don't stop it, it will hurt dancehall. What I recommend that you guys do is take the show on the road and make money. Take it on the road. Since you guys want to clash so much, take it to the stage. But when you guys get off the stage, leave it on the stage and off to the next city. And leave it on the stage and go to the next city. So this is a concept that I, formulated from that conversation. Addies and Mighty Crown, leave it on the stage. So if we clash in England, we clash in England. And when we leave it on the stage. We go to Europe, we do the same thing. At the end of the day, this thing is about money. And it's about entertainment. That's it. It's nothing else. Nothing should be taken personal. And I think that the downfall of the industry was the fact that sound system teams used to be synonymous to gangs. It was like a musical gang. So because, V-Rocket and Saxon was rivals, nobody don't want to talk to nobody when them see them in the road because we are rivals. Or Addies and LPs been rivals forever. And I managed to bring both of them to Soundtrack Radio and have the two of them in the same room together, which means that the times is changing. No, we're not trying to friend out the thing, but we're trying to do the thing smarter. The overall achievement here, or the overall goal, is to just entertain the fans. The fans don't care if you guys want to thump each other down after the show. They don't care if you guys are friends or you guys are beefing after the show. All they care about is what you give them on the stage when they pay their money, and that's where I'm setting my camp. That's the direction that I want my camp to go.
Chin, thanks a lot for your time. I hope we can catch up again soon.
Thank you.
Gibbo.